Hello and welcome in everybody. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot and Astro Insights, and I'm going to share a very important collective message. And so we are walking into this 10-10 portal energy. We just had Jupiter station retrograde. We've got Pluto stationing direct, and I was up most of the night on and off receiving massive downloads connected to all of these energy shifts. And so what I kept being shown was this energy of massive collective awakening, and I kept hearing waking the sleeping phoenixes. And so this is our moment in time to kind of rise from the ashes. And what I kept being shown was the energy of the Ace of Swords in combination with the Five of Swords in my third eye, along with the Eight of Wands with the Judgment card. So hit that subscribe button, please. Like the video, comment on the video, and share the video, especially if you're resonating with the message. But let's talk about these energies. And so what I felt was this very significant internal conflict, and this could be playing out externally, but ultimately it was an overwhelming sense of collective uncertainty. And so there could be some type of disharmony or conflict playing out in your external reality connected to this very tense energy that I was sitting in. But I do feel this is when the truth kind of comes to light. So we're in this extreme energy portal where there's things going to be changing very fast. And what I kept hearing was contempt. So somebody here is in a state of being very contempted, not stepping onto the path. And so be ready to face a very difficult, contentious situation over the coming days, because this truth that's coming to light might not be very easy to digest. And so keep your focus was a big message. Keep your focus. Be mindful of your boundaries at this time. And so do not let anybody take advantage of you over the coming days. And so it may be necessary as well to take a step back, especially if you are in some type of unhealthy, toxic, abusive relationship cycle. So what I heard very loudly was stand up for yourself. So relationships come in many forms. It can be parent-child dynamic. It can be a romantic relationship. It can be a work relationship. It can be a friendship. So stand up for yourself. If you find yourself in a situation that is unhealthy, these energies really are saying it's time to complete a cycle. It's time to cut those ties with any unhealthy situations. And we are being called to use our spiritual strength, our spiritual wisdom to kind of stay on the right path. And so you do need to take a look. We all kind of need to take a look at the way all of our current relationships are kind of set up. And so we all have relationships, whether they're romantic or not. I've got relationships with my children, with my mother, with some friends. So I'm not in a romantic relationship, but we do have to kind of look at all of these relationships objectively. And so if you feel like you're in a healthy, loving relationship, then this message might not be for you. But I do feel you really need to ask yourself, is this a healthy, loving relationship? Or do you feel like maybe you're being taken advantage of in some kind of way? Because if that's the case, that's where that Five of Swords energy came in. And I do feel this is connected to some type of bullying situation, theft, possibly even violence. But that's what abusive relationships are all about, right? I want to win at all costs, and I'm going to gaslight and I'm going to do whatever it takes to come out on top. It doesn't matter who I hurt. And so if this is something that is part of any type of relationship dynamic that you're connected to over the coming days, I do think there's a realization of the truth of just how toxic this cycle is and what you need to do to maybe free yourself. And so you think of 10-10. Tens are completion. Tens are endings. It's the energy of the wheel. And so fate is kind of pushing us forward. And so we've got an option to totally jump timelines at this portal gateway, but we do have to stop repeating these negative patterns. And so it really is super important to be honest with yourself, especially when it comes to recognizing the ties that we need to cut. And you might need to protect yourself too, especially before things get worse. So recognize the warning signs, recognize the red flags, recognize the warning signs, because whether you're ready for it or not, significant change is rapidly approaching when it comes to this great awakening and this ascension journey. And so This portal energy is bringing forward a major wake-up call. There could be a sudden sense of clarity being downloaded, like I was receiving messages, but these downloads are going to bring forward a new understanding of your life's purpose at this time. So really trust in the messages that you're receiving from your higher self and your higher guides, because change is on the way. Change is the only thing that is certain in this physical reality, and so this change is coming at a very fast pace. So be prepared to take swift action and be prepared to make right decisions. It is all about making those right decisions that will lead us down the pathway to be able to serve our goals, serve our mission, and serve our spiritual path. And so this is a major wake-up call. I feel it's a wake-up call to make a final decision about a relationship or many relationships. And so you kind of got to look at the bigger picture. That's that Aquarian energy. Look at the bigger picture. Because I do feel a decision is going to have to be made over the coming days that will likely have a significant impact in your physical reality. And so this energy, I feel, is all about gaining clarity. It's all about gaining clarity, gaining a new sense of understanding. And I do feel with this new understanding, there will be a new purpose when it comes to relationships in your life. And so be prepared to make a very difficult decision over the coming days when it comes to ending things or separating yourself from people who just are no longer at a frequency resonance with you and your soul purpose. And so there's going to be some type of news likely arriving, I feel, over the coming days that will bring forward imminent change. And so there's a lot of external forces, I think, asking us all to reevaluate our life, reevaluate our path. And so be ready to take action and also be ready to come to terms with what is best for you in the long run. So let's jump in with some cards. Let's see what other messages need to come through with the tarot and the oracle. But we're going to jump in today using the senses of the soul. So remember, tarot, oracle messages, it's all about guidance. It's all about empowerment. I'm not here to tell you what to do. The cards aren't here to tell you what to do. Certainly not. So just take this reading as an opportunity to step into your power and to create the life you want. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, check out the link below. I've also recently launched the private one-on-one astrology mentorship. So if you would like to master your birth chart or learn more about reading astrology charts, feel free to check it out. There are 4 sessions available or 8 sessions available with different pricing scales. So check it out. You got to hit that sign up button to bring you to the page with all of the different options for payment. But it's the perfect opportunity to get a one-on-one session with me. But let's jump into it with the senses of the soul. I'd also like to mention this reading is not sign specific, although I will call out zodiac signs throughout the reading. If you would like to jump into hearing a message for your zodiac sign weekly, I do go live every Thursday on the membership side of the channel at noon Eastern Standard Time, and we dig into all 12 zodiac signs. So check it out, but let's see what needs to come through for a message today. We get the 26 card, or borage, and it is speaking about transcending this emotional pain with courage and tenacity. And then on the other side of the cut, we get the silver star. So there is some type of DNA activation, I feel, going on in these energies. And I woke up this morning super sluggish, super tired because of being in and out of astral realms and receiving downloads all night long. So they want me to pull this card aside. I'm going to set that card aside because you got to be willing to go where it is that you need to go in order to heal. And so there's something about the higher chakras. It's a 67 card, which further breaks down to a 13. And they're showing me the Knight of Pentacles with the Death card. And so there is a major collective transformation going on in these energies and an opportunity to really do that deep dive, to embrace this transformation. And the Knight of Pentacles is saying, hey, it's time to plant that seed. It's time to keep putting one foot in front of the other to move forward with a sense of loyalty to the path. So we're going to set that silver star card aside, and we're going to read into the book connected to that energy, because I do feel there's likely a very important message for the collective, and we're going to get a few more of these cards out. So what do we need to know when it comes to this 1010 portal energy? We get the shaman right out the gate. And so I feel root chakra energy. There is some type of activation when it comes to the great healers, the shamans, the soothsayers, the prophets. We get the sweet gale energy. I release that which is ready to be healed from my subconscious. It's a 59 card. So that is also the energy connected to the 5 of Swords energy that I channeled. And so there is really a need to recognize self-sabotaging behaviors. And then we get the Yarrow card, which is all about psychic illumination, fusing that with all of this physical awareness. It's a 44 card. And so there is an underlying 4 of Cups energy coming through. And so we do need to be willing to recognize where we self-sacrifice. Bottom of the deck, we get a Tower. We get the Tower energy with the Marshmallow card. And so this is about releasing insecurities and embracing your authentic power. And so we are at the pivot point. We are at the apex. We are at the crossroads. And so let's go a little bit further into these energies with the book. And we will start off by reading the Silver Star. And so the Silver Star is all about cosmic truth seeking. So the Silver Star is saying that we have all kinds of spiritual aspects coming through in these energies, and we really need to pay special attention. And so this is about activating that third eye, that spiritual lens, and the higher chakras. And so we have 12 chakras. We have the 7th chakra is the crown chakra, and we can go above and beyond that when it comes to downloading spiritual and cosmic wisdom. And so the bigger picture is definitely at work here. And so there might be a resolution simply by just shifting your perspective. I do feel there's a lot of cosmic truth coming forward. And so if you find yourself in a downward spiral, be mindful of grounding these energies, because there's huge capacity to receive downloaded messages in these energies, especially through dream space. Like I said, my dreams have been so vivid, so intense for days now. And so how can you kind of assimilate all of this new knowledge? Because I do feel right now we are reprogramming our neural pathways through this awakening process. And I'll never forget the spontaneous Kundalini activation I had. And so this kind of drudges up all of these repressed emotions when it comes to past trauma, any judgments that you've been holding against yourself or any situations. And so we kind of are here to experience oneness. So you need to understand where you are feeling separate, because there is like a dissolution of these old contracts. So we can kind of tap into the divine energies with childlike wonder. And that's what it's about. And so the awakening journey really is about understanding the connectedness of everything, of all things, including yourself, right? And so if you're holding on to any resentments or negative judgments, even if they're towards yourself, this is not supporting the pathway to the light. And so this cosmic truth is kind of being downloaded. It's being transmitted in order to manifest this clarity and to increase your spiritual wisdom, your spiritual psychic abilities, and your intuition. And so intuition is going to be really heightened at this time. And so find your confidence to take action. It really is about expressing your truth, expressing how you feel, and following the divine inspirational cues. And so how can you embrace this newfound freedom? Because this is deep soul path work that we chose to do. And so we kind of got to foster the energies between the 8th and the 12th chakras with that energy coming through, because we are all co-creators on this ascension process. I'd like to read into the shaman, because this is all about karmic freedom. This is all about individuation and grounded spirituality. We can't spend our whole time floating up in the ethers. We do have to get grounded. And so there is a lot of shadow healing taking place in these energies when it comes to soul retrieval. And so we are in the process of massive spiritual death and spiritual rebirth. And so if the shaman is emerging for you right now, you have to support this deep soul work that is taking place. And so the only way to do this deep soul work is to face your shadow self. We all came here to heal these deeply seated karmic patterns that have plagued our family lineage. And we do have to retrieve these parts of ourselves, of our soul, that we've shunned, that we've buried deep down inside. And so we all have the capacity to be good and evil. And so nobody is inherently bad. Nobody is inherently good. And so I do think this is kind of being brought to light. And we do need the dark with the light. The two need to coincide together. And so this journey really is about acceptance of self. And so I do feel there's a big fear over a loss coming through here. And so when we stand in our power and we break free from all of these self-imposed limitations, there is loss. There will be loss. And so if you find yourself in the shadow manifestation of the shaman energy, this is the refusal to see your shadow. This is the refusal to bring what is unconscious into the conscious light. And so there's something about self-sabotaging patterns coming through with that Five of Swords energy. So how can you integrate the saboteur energy? Because I do feel we are in the process of facilitating all of this shadow work. And we do got to kind of transmute all of this shadow energy when it comes to harnessing in this new earth energy. So what is it that you need to release that is ready to be healed from the subconscious mind when it comes to these deep-seated patterns? And so you are being asked to release all of these insecurities. The Tower kind of comes in to say, hey, you're living a life that's not in alignment. I keep getting hair in my mouth. That is not in alignment with your truth, with the spiritual path. And so the Tower comes in to upheave anything false, anything that was built on faulty pretenses, anything that was built on a lie kind of has to break down to the ground in order for us to fuse this new physical awareness. And so trust that you are safe and protected as you align to your purpose. And then below the Mullen card, we get the White Star. So the White Star is all about ascension. The White Star is definitely the last card in the deck. I'm sure of it. And I'm going to have to grab my glasses again. But the White Star is all about ascension. And so how can you look at the journey through a new spiritual lens? And so we are here to ground our core self, to reorient the stories that we tell ourselves. And we are here to create peace and ease in our life. And so if you are being called to awaken on every level of awareness, you are being called into a state of healed wholeness. And this takes time. And so there is a huge clearing of karma, a huge clearing of debris, a huge clearing from your psyche, so you can tap into your gifts and your talents that come from the divine. And so discernment is key. Discrimination is key between what is healthy and what is destructive in your life. And so there's a message here. There's a message of service coming through. And so that might be the realization, and figure it out, because no human should be an island. And so I know the healing journey is a very solitary path. I've been on the journey very much alone for a very long time, although people come in and out of my life because we are on a co-creation journey together. But we are here to achieve complete alignment. And by human design, that is the cross that I hold, is the cross of alignment. And so we are all equipped to reach a place of total equanimity. And that is when we can truly live our life with grace and poise in a very difficult world. Because let's face it, the world is in a very difficult place right now. And so how can you reconnect with the parts of the Trinity of Self, which is the actual twin flame, is the Trinity of Self. And so the actual twin flame journey is about tapping into the source of all creation. And so we are all souls. We are all here to go through this divinity remembrance through the heart opening. And so to open up the heart, it is a very painful process. It does require deep compassion of self and humanity and love. And so when we access the opening of the heart, we will be in a state of constant renewal. And so it is only through the gateway of the heart that we can receive this ancient knowledge, this ascension energy, this cosmic wisdom. And so I do feel a lot of soul star activations, which is the chakra right above the crown. So the 8th chakra, the soul star chakra. So let's go a little bit further with the cards. I'm very much drawn to the Wildwood Tarot again today. So we'll see what other messages need to come through with the Wildwood Tarot. So we get the 2 of Stones on the bottom of half the deck, And that's a challenge. And we get the 10 of arrows in reversed. And so this is the worst has happened. The worst is about to happen. The 10 of wands in reversed is saying, hey, it's time to stop going head to head with somebody. It's like you're at a crossroads here. There is a realignment going on here. The 2 of stones, the 2 of pentacles. But if you look at this card, it's like 2 people going head to head. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And so it's kind of time to lay down a long-standing burden. And so we are being collectively instructed to release the burden, to release the struggle. But I do feel there's going to be a challenge ahead going through this portal energy. And somebody here, I think, is feeling very insecure about embracing their authentic truth and their authentic power. So let's get 9 of these cards out and let's see what message needs to come through today. First card out, we get the 7 of stones in reversed, the 7 of pentacles in reversed, and this is speaking of healing. We get the 6 of cups in reversed. We get, so there is a separation here. The 6 of cups in reversed is saying in order to fully embrace the healing journey, there does need to be a separation when it comes to an old pattern. And so we are in a portal of resting. The 4 of swords is the death of an idea, the death of a person, the death of the old you. The 4 of swords basically is the death card in the lower arcana. And so I do feel it's really time to rest. I was so called to rest, but I really needed to get this message out there. We get the Queen of Wands in reversed. Below the 7 of stones in reversed, we get the Queen of Cups in reversed. And we get the World. And so we have a very disturbing karmic feminine energy coming through. Could be a blend of fire, could be a blend of water. The salmon swims upstream, swims against the current, and the Queen of Bows, I feel there's somebody here that wants to challenge somebody. There's emotional manipulation here. There's anger, there's possessiveness, there's jealousy. And it's kind of time to stop the spiral. It's time to stop this cycle, to stop repeating negative patterns, right? And so the Queen energy in reversed is a negative, repetitive pattern. And so there is a breakdown of a false foundation. I do feel we've got somebody here trying to hold on to something that is meant to fall apart. And in order to fully heal, this cycle has to reach completion, the World card. But after the World, we get the 9 of stones in reverse, which is the 9 of pentacles in reverse. And so we're here to break traditions. We're here to instill a new earth tradition. And so I do feel there is a feminine energy coming through. It doesn't have to be a woman, but the queens do represent feminine energy that has been holding on to a dead end, a situation that has not yielded any growth. There is a lack of healing. There's a need to recognize, hey, there's some very extreme codependencies here that need to be addressed. And I do feel there's a feminine energy getting blasted out of their comfort zone. There's that Tower energy, the blasted oak. So we could have a feminine here getting thrown out of a home situation. And the last card out is the King of Bows. Very interesting. Look at all of the snakes. So we get a King of Wands. So this is an action taker. We've got a King of Wands here connected to the World and connected to the 4 of Swords in a deep healing portal. And then we get the Ace of Arrows, and there's the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And so you're not going to be able to unsee this truth. It might be very discomforting. It might be very disturbing. But this is a truth coming from above. This is a truth coming from your higher self and your spiritual guides. And then following the Ace of Swords, we get the Ace of Bows, which is the Ace of Wands. And so there is a brand new spark here, at the spark of life, the breath of life. And I do feel there is a masculine energy getting himself untangled from a group of snakes. This could be a whole social group. And so below the Ace of Bows, the Ace of Wands, we get the 2 of Arrows. And so there is an injustice here that does need to be made right. This could be a social injustice, but we do have a separation. We've got 2 people here not on the same page. And I do feel there's just a need to release, because the Tower's coming to break this false foundation apart, whether you're ready for this or not. So let's go a little bit further and clarify the feminine energy coming through in this reading, because I do feel somebody here doesn't recognize their worth. They're trying to cling to control because maybe there's fear of not knowing what's on the other side. But I do feel there is a need to kind of really recognize the fox is in the den here. The Knight of Bows, the Knight of Wands, the Three of Arrows connected to this feminine energy, and the Eight of Arrows. And so there is a deep, deep struggle here. We go from the Three of Swords to the Eight of Swords. And so I do feel there's a connection here that is serving as a mirror. It's serving as a mirror when it comes to codependencies. And so I do feel there's a connection here that was never meant to last long term. The Knight of Bows comes in quickly. It's not got this staying power energy. And I do feel somebody here, there's a feminine here clinging to control because she does not want to express and feel this pain. And so somebody here, it's like being shot through the heart. And the Eight of Arrows is saying, hey, you are in a state of struggle. You are in this state of keeping yourself in a false sense of imprisonment here. And it's time to shine a light on all of these negative vices. And so there is going to be a shift in perspective. And so maybe two people in this connection are going to experience a shift in perspective. The mirror, the mirroring energy is so very interesting, because that word narcissist gets thrown out a lot. And the word narcissist, right? And I think like, well, there's that mirror. What you see in another also does exist in you. And let's face it, we all can have egoic, narcissistic tendencies. Does that make us an actual narcissist? Absolutely not. But I do feel there's going to be a major wake-up call. There's going to be a shift in perspective here. And I do feel this mirroring energy is coming through for the Green Man, which is representative of the Emperor energy. And so there's a masculine here, got something brewing. They're brewing up something when it comes to maybe approaching a Queen of Arrows, somebody that they consider to be a life partner, who I feel has already released this person because she's in a state of protecting herself. So there could be a possibility of an ending leading to a new beginning. One thing ending, leading to a new beginning. But I do feel it's in the baby stages of the rebirth. So let's clarify the world and this King of Wands, because I do feel there is a major cycle reaching completion here. We get the Six of Stones in reversed. And so there could be a masculine here that has been exploited, or definitely I feel like this energy of being exploited. There's an imbalance here when it comes to a cycle. And so we could have a masculine here that is given a lot to this karmic feminine energy. And there's that Five of Arrows, which is the Five of Swords in reversed. And so this is a huge release of sabotaging, abusive behaviors. And I do feel there's a lot of underlying frustration here with the Ace of Cups in reverse. And so there is a block on the heart that does need to be addressed, connected to this King of Bows. And so the final decision has already been made. That's what I feel. And so there's like a flaming energy coming in. And so the choice is now, the path is now. And there is a need to release any sort of addictions, because I do feel that's a block to putting in the work, mastering your skills. And so get ready to deal with any insecurities that are below the surface so you can move forward in a newfound sense of rebirth. And so it's all about the journey. And so we get the Death card in reversed. And so there's a need to just release a situation, to go through this rebirth process, which will lead you down the pathway of greater abundance. So what are we healing in these energies with the Four of Swords? The Queen of Stones, we're healing our self-worth. I just think of this energy of like, hey, you want to poke the bear? You want to keep poking the bear, poking the bear? You're going to get a mad woman. You're going to trigger somebody's anger. You're going to trigger somebody's rage. I don't know about you, but as a woman, if you tell me I'm mad and I'm not mad, I'm going to get mad. And so people like to poke the bear, but don't like when the bear takes action here. And so we're healing this energy, I feel, of poking the bear. the Seven of Cups in reverse. And so this is coming out of a period of mourning. And so if you think about addictions, it is just to cover a deep sense of grief. And so we're coming out of a period of grieving, of facing our fears, facing our insecurities. And we do have a full moon in Aries coming through next week. And so get prepared to take immediate action, because the ancestors are beckoning us. The ancestors are saying it is time to instill a new tradition. We get the Hierophant. So somebody here is being divinely guided to complete a cycle, to step into the shaman path. And there is a massive activation here. And so forgive yourself, forgive others. We are at the completion of a cycle, and we are about to be set free. That's what I feel. We are about to be set free. And so we're all exactly where we need to be in this moment in time. And very soon, that way forward is going to be made crystal clear. So let's close this reading off with a spiritual journey oracle message. And let's see what else needs to come through to close off this message today. What other energies? I just feel divine union here, a high priest and a high priestess coming together. So what's the closing message for the 1010 portal today, for the spiritual journey, for the spiritual path? Self-actualization. So get ready to harness this newfound spiritual truth, to be able to be on the pathway to achieve your fullest potential. Get ready to understand why. To understand the whys, why it had to happen this way, because this is all about living consciously. This is all about understanding, hey, things don't just happen by chance. Everything is by divine design. And so we all have a choice to create a path for the betterment for ourselves and for everybody that we are connected with in our life. But it first does require us to find our truth, to understand maybe where we've been misguided by falsehoods with a social group or a family belief or a religious belief, and to shine a light on what truly does speak to you when it comes to integrity and personal values. And so get ready to break the chains of a situation that is riddled with addictions, abuse, restrictions, and impediments, because ultimately freedom does begin with choice of self. So spend some time connecting with the earth, getting grounded and retreating so you can understand what this truth resonance means for you, because we don't deepen our relationship connected to all of these outside sources. We deepen our relationship when we go into states of solitude, and that is the only way to learn the soul's language, to really understand your path, what motivates you, and to really understand the art of self-love, which really is the art of self-discipline, is the greatest gift that you can give yourself when it comes to self-love. And so get ready for a major relationship paradigm shift. So we're releasing the false contracts, and we're going to these closer soul unions. So be careful of spending too much time up in your head, because that won't leave a lot of room for this divine truth and this clarity to come through. I'm being called to pull one more message. So let's get one more message. A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. And so we are all on a unique path, and we are all doing deep soul work. And so trust that you are on the right timeline, because I do feel this is about finding joy within self and resting and dedicating your life to this new self-realization, because there's nothing further that we need to do other than reflect on this truth. So celebrate the progress that you've already made. Celebrate the progress. Okay, what is the very last message today? I would also like to mention I am going to start another round of Zodiac. So just be patient. I'm kind of reorienting the channel and slowing it down a little bit, doing things different. But this is about recovering and discovering what nourishes your soul, what brings you joy, what is it that you care enough about in order to make room for it in your life. And so I think we're kind of in a timeout portal in order for us to really figure out what our greatest life purpose is. And so heed your inner calling. Heed that inner calling and understand we all have something that sets us apart and makes us different from others. So how can you harness that unique expression and bring that into fruition? Reflection as the last message. When you recognize and you reflect on even one good thing about yourself, that is when you build that bridge of self-love, of kindness, of caring of self. And so celebrate the way that you love yourself. Think about this and celebrate it, because the universe is saying it's time to reconnect with source, with all of these brilliant creative influences coming forward. And so if you've awakened this lifetime, you've chosen the awakening path. And so really reflect on your relationships and how they have affected you and affected the person that you have become, because we have an opportunity here, I think, to cultivate new, calm, peaceful energy, but we have to release the stress and we have to take a rest in order to do that. And so that is what I've got for the 1010 portal message. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you would like to go further with a more personalized message and reading, check out the link below, guys. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.